Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Sunday, June 25, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. You will find the link to our Patreon in the description and comments section below. Johan Oviedo will get the starting nod in the finale of this series. Oviedo was knocked out in the 5th inning against the Cubs on Thursday, allowing 4 runs in 4 1/3 innings and a loss. It was another strong effort from Oviedo, who's allowed 2 runs or fewer in 6 of his last 8 starts. He struck out 8 on the night and pitched well. A Nico Hoerner's stolen base was cashed in by Ian Happ in the 4th inning, and Oviedo was pulled after allowing 3 of the first 4 hitters to reach in the 5th inning. The bullpen immediately allowed both inherited runners he left with to score. Despite an average 4.16 ERA on the season, Oviedo has a 2.79 ERA and 38 strikeouts in 38 2/3 innings over his last 7 starts. But the Pirates have failed to give him any run support. A month ago on this day, Oviedo was 3-3 with a 4.69 ERA in 9 starts. He's since 0-4 with a 3.74 ERA in 6 starts. Pittsburgh was on a 10-game losing streak that crippled them in June, finally ending Friday with a 3-1 win in the first game of this series. They have been mediocre at the dish for the last month. They have swatted the 3rd fewest home runs, but thankfully they have served up the 3rd fewest. They have fallen 5 games below the .500 mark entering the 3rd game of this series. The Marlins will turn to Yuri Perez in the finale of this series. He did not factor in the decision in Tuesday's 2-0 loss to the Blue Jays after he allowed 3 hits and no walks across 6 scoreless innings. He struck out 9 in another dominant outing. According to Yahoo.com, the 20-year-old threw 59 of 80 pitches for strikes and generated 19 whiffs as he set a career high in strikeouts, though he was unable to grab his 5th win since the Marlins failed to score. Perez has given up just 1 run over his past 5 starts and has a 29.8 kBB in 27 frames during that stretch. The righty has already thrown 72 innings between AAA and the majors this season, after topping out at 77 and 78 frames the past 2 years, which makes his spot in the rotation rocky despite his dominant form, since the club is likely monitoring his workload. Either way, he will be out there for this start on Sunday and has a good chance to continue his red-hot start against one of the weaker offenses in the majors. He has shown little trouble with major league hitters, posting a 1.80 ERA, 1.09 WHIP, and 36.14 kBB over 35 innings across 7 appearances. The Marlins will start Yuri Perez in the final game of the series. He pitched 6 scoreless innings against the Blue Jays on Tuesday, allowing only 3 hits and no walks. Perez has been great for the Marlins this season, and although he will be limited in his workload, I expect him to pitch well again on Sunday. The Pirates have been struggling, losing 9 of their last 11 games. They are also 25th in runs per game, so I do not expect them to score many runs against Perez. As long as the Marlins can score 2 or more runs, they should be able to win the game. Take the Marlins by 2 or more at home. Pittsburgh was on a 10-game losing streak that crippled them in June after a strong start, finally ending Friday with a 3-1 win in the first game of this series. They have not been sharp on all fronts this month. They are trying to develop some guys from AAA to help bolster their lineup, but it has not been working. They selected Nick Gonzalez's contract from AAA Indianapolis and optioned Cal Mitchell to the minor league club. Gonzalez started at second base and was hitless in 3 at-bats Friday. Over their last 10 head-to-head meetings, both clubs have failed to average more than 4 runs per game. That is not surprising, considering both clubs rely on sound pitching to carry them. I like this to be a low-scoring game. Take the under. Atlanta Braves vs Cincinnati Reds. The Braves were finally able to end the winning streak of the Reds with a 7-6 victory in today's contest. Travis d'Arnaud went 4 for 5 and had an RBI, while Matt Olson and Marcell Ozuna had a pair of hits and a pair of RBIs each in the victory. 5 players had at least 2 hits and an RBI in the contest. Jared Schuster only went 3.2 innings and gave up 4 runs, but the bullpen of Atlanta was able to hold down Cincinnati for most of the game. Raciel Iglesias gave up 2 runs, but still managed to earn the save. Matt Olson has the most home runs and RBIs on the team, with 24 and 57 respectively. While Acuna is leading the squad in batting average with .327 and OBP with .402 in a convincing manner, Sean Murphy has the second highest ops and slugging percentage, right behind Acuna. Acuna is also using his speed to impact the game, with 33 steals in 76 games so far. On the pitching side, every starter with at least 10 starts has an ERA under 4.00. Bryce Elder has a 2.40 ERA in 90 innings pitched while the bullpen has been decent. AJ Minter has 10 saves in 13 opportunities, and Jesse Chavez has a 1.55 ERA in 29 innings pitched. They could use an upgrade before the playoffs and will most likely add it at trade deadline when all is said and done. Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. In this case, it is Cincinnati's winning streak. The Reds lost to the Braves by a score of 7-6. Matt McLain had 2 hits and 2 RBIs, while Spencer Steer also chipped in a pair of RBIs with his homer. Jake Fraley came up clutch with a pinch hit RBI, and Will Benson contributed the other run batted in. Only 3 players out of the 12 batters were unable to get a hit in today's contest. Graham Ashraft had a subpar performance on the mound, giving up 6 runs in only 4 innings, while striking out 2. The Reds are coming off a winning streak, but they are still not a good team. They are sub .500 against teams better than average, and they are barely above .500 at home this season. The Braves, on the other hand, are 25-12 on the road and 7 games above .500 against teams better than average. They have also won 16 out of their last 21 games, including 9 of their last 10. The Reds have a negative run differential, which means they are scoring fewer runs than they are giving up. The Braves, on the other hand, have the best defense in the National League. Charlie Morton is starting for the Braves on Sunday, and he is a better pitcher than whoever the Reds start. The Braves' bullpen has also been solid for the most part. I believe the Braves will win the final game of the series. Take Atlanta with the run line. Although the Braves and Reds totaled an average of 17 runs per game in their past 2 games, I think this will result in a more competitive pitching matchup. The fate of the series is on the line, and that will result in higher intensity play from the pitchers. The Braves have given up the 3rd least number of runs in the National League, and Cincinnati has to cool down at some point on offense. Morton has been quite consistent this month, giving up an average of 2.5 runs per start in the month of June, and we don't know who the starter will be for the Reds yet. The Braves have hit the under in 17 of their last 25 games, when the total has been at 11 runs or higher. Take the under. Kansas City Royals vs Tampa Bay Rays. After starting the season 0-11 and the Royals losing the last 15 straight when Jordan Lyles took the mound, he got a much-needed win against the top team in baseball. The Royals fell behind early, 4-0, after the first 2 innings. But they bounced back sharply in the 3rd and 4th, with Drew Waters getting the bats going with a solo shot in the 3rd. Over those 2 innings the Royals amassed 7 runs and ended with 11 on the day. Freddie Fermin and Edward Olivares each logged 3 hits, and both added a homer as well. LHP Daniel Lynch is set to take the mound for his 3rd road start of the season. On the road this year he's thrown 13 innings striking out just 6, but holding opposition to .196 in the box. The lefty has also surrendered just 1 homer over that span. During daytime games, opponents' collective batting average has ticked up, but Lynch hasn't allowed a long ball and has struck out 13 while throwing for 10.1. While his home run rate on the series is sitting above his career average, he's handled himself well on the road thus far. What's more, the 26-year-old has exhibited some better ball control, and his walk rate is currently sitting at a career best. Despite hopping between AAA and the majors this season, Lynch will look to lean on his strong road arm against the Rays. The bats came out hot in Game 3 for the Rays, jumping out to a quick 4-0 lead after 2 innings. Unfortunately the runs stopped there as Yonny Chirinos allowed 8 runs over his 5.1 innings thrown. Wander Franco was the lone Ray to hit a homer, and he also went 2-4 at the plate, including 2 RBIs. In all, the Rays ended the day with 8 hits coming from 6 different guys. RHP Tyler Glasnow is due to take the hump for his 4th home start of the season. Glasnow sits with a home ERA of 6.14, having struck out 21 batters over 14.2 innings while allowing 10 runs. During daytime affairs, he's posting his highest ERA splits at 6.23. It should be noted that Glasnow has only tossed in 1 daytime game this season. In that outing he threw 4.1 innings and gave up 3 runs while striking out 8. The last time he tossed against the Royals, Glasnow threw for 8 innings and racked up 11 Ks while giving up just 3 hits and no runs. While he's been hindered by the injury bug this season, Glasnow has proven he can be the guy when he's throwing well. While Lynch has pitched well, the Royals' offense has not been able to consistently follow through. Glasnow has only pitched 1 daytime game this season, but he held the Royals scoreless in his last meeting with them. Tampa's offense has been struggling in June, but they are the home team and should be able to get enough runs to cover the spread. Take Tampa Bay minus 1.5 runs. As noted, this is the ideal spot for Lynch as he's thrown better both on the road and during the day. His offense will likely not pack the same punch they brought in Game 3. Further, Glasnow has been racking up the Ks this season, and he'll face a Royals offense that is one of the worst in the box. The Rays may not need their high-caliber offense to fully perform here, and that's been the case for almost all of June. Look for both pitchers to find some success here to keep the total under the number.